Is it worth considering the Thrustmaster T818 direct drive wheel in sim racing? It's very exciting this, because we've got a review unit to compare. We are in the brand new Ford Mustang GT3 here in iRacing. So this is the latest car that's come out. And but to let you know what I'm finding with the force feedback, it seems to be it's a very power steery sensation. Like, I feel like I could drive the wheel like this, if that makes sense.
Very, very assisted then.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel as like raw or...
You know when we tried the Camus?
Yeah.
And the Camus felt very sort of heavy, like, you know, would be great at simulating like non-power steering cars.
Mm-hmm.
For somewhere like a GT3, I think you get that nice sort of wobble when you go over a curb. I'll try and go over a curb here if I hit one of the apexes. We're saying we are using Fanatec V3 pedals. To see just like the little wobble there,
Yeah. So
rather than like being a big jolting. That's what I hate actually in force feedback.
You're not losing loads of detail, it's just smoothing it out.
We'll find out in ACC, because we are going to do ACC on this setup as well. So you can see our reactions and our honest thoughts on what we find out. All right, Sam, so you've used on this channel Moser stuff, you used Fanatec at home, you've used the Astra, had a go on the Astra Racing, which is top of the range, the Moser KS, which is a competitor. So just let us know what you think of this, what you find.
I think the grips are, they don't feel as high quality as some of the other brands. I don't know if that's something you'd agree with.
I think they're definitely not as, we found when they're a little bit squeezable,
Yeah.
it gives you that sort of just, that makes a big difference, just having it.
Yeah.
We're not talking like really squeezy grips, just having a little bit. What about in terms of the force feedback? It's very quiet. I mean, when I took this out of the box, I was like, seems quite plasticky. I think we took out the box together, didn't we? And I was like,
I think
rattles a little bit, or something was rattling. I think it was a quick release.
it feels real. I mean, that corner at Austria is a super tight corner, as you know. And it felt to handle it quite comfy. Like, it wasn't really juddering, it's nice and smooth.
I mean,
and now I could feel the feedback on the curb there.
This is quieter than Logitech. Logitech's, although it's deliberately loud because of the true force, it rattles away.
Yeah.
But if you're worried about this being a loud force feedback setup, it's not. It's really quiet. We'll just see if it's hot or not. It hasn't been going that long, but it's not hot yet. There was one that we used that was ice cold. The Moser R3 just never got hot at all, but the Camus C12 did actually get quite
That got
hot.
really hot.
Yeah. It's crazy to think, Sam, that the Camus C12 has a more powerful direct drive motor than this inbuilt into the wheel. No wonder it gets hot and comes with an external fan.
That's true.
This is quite a big, chunky unit. And it is a chunky unit. We've actually got the monitor further back than we'd normally have. But what about the Ford, compared to your Fanatec?
I can control, like, if there's a snapper steering, I can control it. So it's not as if I'm fighting it. It feels nice and smooth to actually... Sorry, it feels nice and smooth. Like, if I get the back stepping out, I can control it. It doesn't feel notchy. It actually feels kind of... I don't know how to explain it. It just feels really smooth.
Do you think you're getting enough detail? Because I'm out of the seat. I'm thinking, in like a Moser, when you go over a curb, it's like an explosion.
Like when I go over that curb, I definitely know that I'm going over the curb.
Okay.
100%. I know.
So it might just be refined. I mean, Thrustmaster have been in the game as long as anyone when it comes to making wheels.
100%. And
So
you think of the range which they've had.
Yeah.
I can definitely feel like I don't feel like I'm missing information. I definitely feel like every bit of information I need is here.
Yeah.
I haven't felt like this has overpowered me at any point yet, though. Even when I got taken out before.
Yeah.
It hasn't felt like it's wanting to break my arms. It does feel really nice and smooth.
Let's go into ACC and see what it's like there. Okay, here we go then. We've got the Thrustmaster T818 in ACC. How is the force feedback going to be different? I'm expecting it to be heavier because ACC has heavier force feedback anyway. And it is a little bit here.
I mean, we both enjoyed how refined it was, but that was on... So we both enjoyed how refined it was, but that was on iRacing.
Yeah.
ACC, we know, is a more aggressive game. So how's that going to relate to?
I feel like in iRacing, you could really feel the detail because nothing was overpowered. When we go over curbs in ACC, we'll see if there's going to be a difference. Surprising. Oh, okay. It's a bit more wobble than we had in iRacing.
A lot more, yeah. Wait, you're going to kill some cars.
I'm all right.
Look at that. What the?
That's just the ACC AI at the beginning. Just doesn't know what to do. Right. Okay. Let's turn some corners and anger then. I'm doing this now. I'm just feeling it. It's interesting. I can do that, and I'm not really turning.
It's kind of giving it a little wobble.
Yeah.
But you're not
resurface here, is it?
It's because they put the
later scan.
They put those chicanes in, didn't they, for the MotoGPs?
Yeah. I just felt the curb there rumble on the outside. I didn't really get any curb sensation in iRacing.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels very passable and usable force feedback in ACC as well. I'm not getting any glaring issues. Remember this corner we both struggled with in iRacing? I think, now this is a very subtle point, I feel like we both struggled there because maybe the force feedback is relatively light there.
It might have kind of like grabbed the front and back turn around before we realised that had happened. Is that what you're saying?
Whereas in ACC, like, I feel like there's very little chance of that happening in that corner because I'm a bit more in tune with the tyres.
Yeah.
It's gone light there because I've exceeded the grip and it's just
understeering.
Yeah, and again there it goes light. So it's quite a, now I'm understanding the going into oversteer when the car goes light and I've lost the grip, I'm just going to slide.
Yeah.
And that's quite an interesting one because I feel like I would be able to try and keep it on the limit of grip where I'm feeling like that. I'm sort of feeling the resistance and I know that it's going to fall off the cliff when I go too far.
I mean, essentially like the corkscrew at Laguna Seca, the last corner at Austria does drop off camber quite heavily, but the one before that, the one where you said you felt it would go light, that's more of an understeer. That's why it's gone light.
Very heavy force feedback there relatively. Because I was in grip.
Which you would imagine, because obviously uphill, camber.
So this will be different.
This should be lighter than the previous corner because it's downhill.
When I turn in, it should go light as I go through the corner. I'm not going to get the right line here, unfortunately, but let's see. And it's a lot lighter. And now it comes back.
Yeah, so obviously that's the ACC working, but with the T818, you can actually feel the difference, can you? It's still refined enough that you can feel...
Especially here, this is off camber, right?
Yes.
So you feel the car sort of falling away, but I feel like we've got more detail there in ACC. That might be, like I said, an AC versus iRacing point. But we did, both of us spun at that corner in iRacing using this wheel, and that would be something to cause alarm with force feedback, but it seems to be fine in ACC.
I'm wondering, are you finding that light on the actual base itself distracting, that it's changing colour consistently?
Now that you pointed that out, I am, because it doesn't bear any resemblance to reality. Like, I'd rather it...
I mean, a cool feature, because they've got that light built in, they could have synced that up with like the rev lights maybe?
I don't know if that's an option. I would say I would love that to be synced with my pedals.
Yeah, okay.
Like right now, I'd love it to be just full green. And when I brake, I'd love it to go red and then like darker red, like the closer I am to full brake. I think that would be awesome.
Okay, yes, yeah, I'll be a bit different. I think those lights to match up with the rev counter for me personally.
Just to be clear, that might be a possibility. The Thrustmaster UI like firmware is not modern for this thing.
Little things like this light here.
Yeah.
If that is actually programmable, that you can have it for rev counter or throttle or whatever you want.
Yeah.
Little things like that will be a great touch, a little add-on, which obviously the Fanatec doesn't have. There's one thing on this which I know for me personally would drive me insane. I just want to have a quick look at it.
Yeah.
On the back of these shifters, there's a little lip there.
Oh, is there?
Can you see it? There's a tiny
little lip. Yes,
and I know that will drive me insane.
Yeah,
even just then for how many laps would do? 3 laps?
Yeah.
I could feel myself as I was driving along.
I think it's worth saying that I think a weak point of this setup is the quick release. Like, it hasn't gone wrong for us. It just doesn't, for me, it doesn't inspire confidence.
Yeah.
Compared to, it's definitely an older generation quick release. That's worth bearing in mind. But, you know, on the Logitech, it's got a nicer quick release, but you can't actually quick release another wheel to it.
Yeah. I mean, a way to think of this quick release is if you imagine, like, on your push bike, where you've got that little clip when you're moving, you know, like you're doing up your seat on your push bike, and you've got that little clip, which that's essentially what this is.
In fact, should we undo the quick release? Probably should, to be safe. So here we go. It's a double action, and that's it.
See, I've not seen this off the wheelbase yet.
So this is the Ferrari 488 GT3 add-on for the T818 with the clicky shifters. It looks old gen. It's got a QC pass sticker on it, which I like, actually. That's a big one for sim racing companies. If you've done QC, put a QC sticker on it, because I know it's being QC'd, which I really like.
Yeah. Which means quality control.
Yeah.
Just for anyone who didn't know that.
Put it in. Do you see there? It's already picked it up
Yep.
in terms of the data.
The lights on the wheel and the lights on the wheelbase came up.
And then you clamp it, and then moment of truth, it works. So it doesn't inspire confidence to me, but it works.
I generally am very impressed with this. A lot more than that cameras. I like it. It doesn't feel. I know you said it's the Logitech has the True Force in it. That felt very rattly. It's quite a noisy unit.
It is, yeah.
This is. I mean, when I say while you were driving it, this was deadly silent.
It is.
The clicks I could still hear with headphones on, but when I was sat where you are, it didn't sound like it was distracting me. They were so loud.
Yeah.
So on a late night thing, I would be keeping my other half up or wake up my child.
On that point, I've been using the Logitech G923 a lot recently for various reasons, like going to expos and whatnot and taking it with me.
Yeah.
That thing rattles. You know when you're on party chat and someone in the party's got a G923, you know it.
Yeah.
You hear them going through corners. It feels like they're in like some sort of like mechanical like thing, pulling levers and cranks and everything. It's doing all that stuff. If sound is important, this thing is silent. But the shifters aren't, which is interesting. You could very easily, I think, dampen those shifters. We've got to sort out this corner. So this is a 10 Newton meter direct drive base from Thrustmaster that obviously goes head to head with the lights of the Logitech G Pro. That's 11 Newton meters, and also various stuff in the Moser and Fanatec range. So I know it's going to go head to head with the Moser R9. Fanatec, is it? It might be the CSL DD with the boost kit that would be 8 Newton meters.
Yep, correct. That also comes with pedals though, remember?
And that comes with pedals. This doesn't come with pedals, although we do have TLCM pedals we're going to review as well. We're using the Ferrari 488 GT3 add-on that I think is a direct competitor to the Fanatec McLaren GT3 and very similarly priced. I think they both come in just under 200 pounds, euros. But I'm just wondering, like, I need to address this. I wasn't expecting it to be close. I don't know why, but like, I think this is just a better rim than the Fanatec McLaren GT3, which is such a weird thing to say because for me that's been the standard.
Yeah, how many hours you've put on that Fanatec GT3 McLaren rim?
I just feel like it's a little bit sturdier. It's a bit thinner. The finish is nicer, whatever it is. It's just glossier and sort of nicer. I prefer this. Sounds like a stupid point, but I prefer having an actual yellow Ferrari Scuderia prancing horse than having a piece of McLaren text that's now out of date.
Yeah.
Like this logo is never going to go out of date. I would love it if it illuminated. If that illuminated,
yes,
for me that adds. I'd pay £20 for that.
100%. But there are only 3 Allen screws in the middle, holding that together.
Compared to the
6 on the McLaren Fanatec, which are also on the back.
So you think that might be held together more sturdier?
Yes, I think there's in my opinion, probably a possibility that is stronger attachment.
I'm just looking at prices now. So the Fanatec CSL DD 8 Newton meters base is about £450.
Okay.
And this is 550, right? It's about 550 you said, or 599?
599.
So this is £150 more than the Fanatec for 2 more Newton meters. And I think that's going to be the big thing, which is Thrustmaster are not undercutting anyone on price here. So this is going head to head with the Logitech G Pro that I've used extensively. I mean, I've used Logitech G Pro more than I think any other sim racing YouTuber. It just doesn't put a foot wrong. But in the Logitech, you don't have a choice when it comes to rims. I've been using that circular rim since day one. Here, you can use this one, and they do a Formula, I think SF1000 Ferrari Formula rim as well, which would be very interesting for you to be on because you use a Formula 1 in Fanatec. Or you can use the round Thrustmaster wheel. So they actually have an ecosystem, even though I don't think the quick release is as sophisticated as the Logitech, to be honest. Wow, Sam, the Logitech G Pro, again, you can get from Amazon. You can also get it on Logitech, and if you use my code Kireth, you get, I think, 10% off. But you can get it on Amazon, which again, next day delivery, this is in the UK, £999, about £1,000. So this is £400 cheaper than the Logitech. I wonder if this is a problem for Logitech. PC only.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, PC only. Be great if it worked on Xbox or PlayStation.
Oh, that is not right, Sam.
But the hierarchy is very interesting. I'm going to tell you something crazy, Sam.
Go on.
Moser R9 in the UK, you can buy now from Currys. I could order one from Curry's in the UK and it could come tomorrow for £408 for the R9 with 9 Newton meters.
Really?
So that is cheaper than the Fanatec.
Yeah.
And you get it from retail.
That's
I think
surprising.
Fanatec are just... The Corsair takeover just makes more and more sense because why are you going to risk buying directly from Moser or Fanatec now? Because I bought stuff from Moser and it's taken a long time to come. We made a video on it. And Fanatec as well. So big competition. Thrustmaster you can buy from retail. But yeah, it's coming in a little bit higher. It does have 10 Newton meters.
Yep.
Albeit that is less than the Logitech G Pro. But the G Pro is really expensive. And I want to find the price on the Camus C12 that we tried very recently. And we did enjoy it, as we're saying. It's a very different type of force feedback. The Camus C12 is $549. So if we put that into pounds these days,
so about 480.
Well, they probably is about similar, $499 at best, probably £550. So this goes head to head with the Camus. So let's talk real talk. Would you prefer? And by the way, the Camus was provided for us as a review unit. This has been provided for us as a review unit. Same with Moser. We're not biased towards one or the other. I would hope. This compared to the Camus, what are you thinking?
Compared to the Camus, this. I like this a lot more.
So you got here. You can change the rims. You can't on the Camus.
You can change the rims. The Camus was nice, but I always had that feel of it was actually it was too aggressive. Like it was actually.
It's a workout.
Yeah, it is like a proper. I mean, we're filming this today. It's hot. The Camus on a hot day like this, I would be sitting there. I would be drenched. I've still got all the detail in this Thrustmaster. I've managed to save mistakes. I'm now making a lot of mistakes. I'm talking
cooler
a lot.
As well.
It's a lot cooler. It has this light thing which potentially could be really cool thing to play with. I would choose this. What about you?
So I think the Camus is such a unique product. I still think they need to work out a clamp that just folds flat and you can just put it away.
Yeah.
Because when you bolt the clamp to it, you lose all the thing. I think people should, if they can, try the Camus. It's a very distinct force feedback. But I think this is a really refined force feedback, and I feel like it's going to work really well on any sim.
Yeah.
And I feel like you can put a circular Thrustmaster rim on here and go rallying, and it's going to be really nice for rallying. And you can do Formula 1 in this, GT3 in this. So I think for that price point, let's say at the same price, I would go for the Thrustmaster. I'd also personally be getting the Thrustmaster from Argos or wherever, like I bought my T150. I just walked into the shop, walked out with a box, and if it goes wrong, I'm going to walk back in and say, can you exchange it?
Exactly.
So that's a big thing when it comes practically there. Versus the Logitech, this is I suppose I should try and answer this one because I've been using Logitech for almost 2 years now, almost day in, day out, to be honest. It hasn't put a foot wrong, but am I inevitably frustrated that I can only use a circular rim? Yes. Would I prefer to be using this rim in this car at this track than a Logitech? Yes. I'd rather use a Ferrari GT3. And it's a lot cheaper. So, and you can get TLCM pedals with Thrustmaster, so you can still have load cells. I just wonder if this is potentially an issue for the Logitech because it's way cheaper. And I don't feel like you're missing those extra 2 Newton meters.
No, like I said...
You've used my G Pro as well upstairs as well.
I have indeed.
But I would say, Sam, to sort of like the important points, if anyone's watching this and you bought the T818 and you want to know how it stacks up against other wheels, we've driven all the other wheels, I would say this is a great direct drive steering wheel. So
definitely, 100%.
Don't regret it. There's you could nitpick and be like, well, maybe nitpick's not the right word, but you could make really deep comparisons between Moser and Fanatec, who edged this on price, and both have ecosystems.
Yes.
It makes me wonder if you don't have a console, why you'd get the Logitech. If there's no ecosystem, I feel like Logitech need to respond to this with a. I mean, I work with Logitech on the Logitech McLaren G Challenge. Like I make videos for them. They obviously have a tie-up with McLaren. They need to have a McLaren GT3 rim in there.
They do.
We pulled to one side here, but. Yeah, it is a big chongus. We've had to the monitor.
Just out of curiosity, we've been on this now for quite a while. How hot is it?
You can feel it. It's not hot at all unless it's venting out the back.
Nope.
It's not hot at all. I think it's just. Oh, there's a little bit of heat actually at the front. Maybe it vents out the front. Or maybe not.
I don't think so.
slightly different.
So it
temperature.
has. So long and short of it, hasn't got hot.
No, it hasn't
Doesn't
got
feel
hot.
like it's gonna overheat anytime
And
soon.
surprisingly, it doesn't rattle. Because when I took out the box, I think the quick release rattles basically. I think it's an interesting proposition compared to both the Camus and the Logitech. Then Moser and Fanatec come in cheaper. So the question is this a better buy than a Fanatec or a Moser? And on that, I'm not sure, because the Fanatec, you're going to get something like, we've got it here somewhere, the Fanatec McLaren GT3. So these two are going to go head to head.
Yeah.
By the way, this doesn't have any lights on it. It's got the LED, doesn't have any lights. I like the industrial nature of the lights. It feels very motorsport-esque. Do you know what I mean? They're just LEDs. They're not dimmed or fancy or anything.
I didn't actually try these.
Yeah, we haven't mapped them, so.
Yeah, I know, but just for the general feeling, to twist them.
I also prefer the finish, by the way. You can see I prefer the finish on the Thrustmaster.
Yeah.
I think that's actually a carbon fibre finish. That's sort of like attached on, whereas this is.
I don't think that is. I think that's a sticker. That is a sticker plate.
It's definitely a plate.
Yep, that carbon itself is a sticker.
Okay. Well, I prefer it to this finish anyway. Like this
the
is
gloss.
Yeah, the glossy.
Compared to the matte.
It's not even really matte. I'd say it's just sort of plastic. But I do prefer the grips on the Fanatec.
Yes, I'd agree with you. The grips. For me, the downsides. I know obviously we're talking about wheelbase, not the wheel here, but the actual
we
wheel.
talk about what we want, but yeah.
The wheel, the grips, too firm.
Yeah.
And this really annoying thing for me with my concentration drifting.
Yeah.
This little lip at the back here. Like I said, I was playing with that quite a lot.
That's some really good feedback. They probably never had that feedback before. But even if you want to get the Moser FSR, Sam, it's like, from a pure racing perspective, this is not any worse. You're not going to perform any worse with this than with this. This has got all the bells and whistles.
Yeah.
This is sort of like a Mazda MX-5. This is like a, I don't know, Porsche 911 sort of thing. Like, you're both good cars. That was a bad comparison. You know what I mean? It's like, this will get you have fun in this thing.
Yeah.
And I was worried that it was so light it would feel like a toy, and I'm like, oh my goodness, it's heavy, but it's got a screen. But when it's on there, it feels really solid. So yeah, the question is it worth picking up? I'd say we've been hopefully clear about the faults or things we would improve. To touch wood, it hasn't broken, it hasn't overheated, it hasn't had a catastrophic error. In fact, when I was on Test Drive Unlimited, my Moser didn't pick up. This picked up straight away.
Okay.
It's been a fun experience in iRacing and ACC. To me, it looks like they've quality tested this product. And if it works for you for whatever reason, maybe you're already in the Thrustmaster ecosystem, got Thrustmaster pedals or other rims.
The Thrustmaster pedals are really good.
I think basically this is great fan service from Thrustmaster to Thrustmaster fans and people in the Thrustmaster ecosystem.
Yes.
To tempt people to switch into Thrustmaster is going to be difficult. And to get people who are going into direct drive for the first time, I don't know. But if you've had a good experience on a T150, then you can feel like you want to show some loyalty to Thrustmaster.
Yeah.
This is going to be good.
It's a solid wheelbase, a solid wheel. If you're in the ecosystem with the pedals already, it's a solid choice to go for.
So let us know if you want to see us do more on the Thrustmaster. We've got the TLCM pedals as well. But I hope you enjoyed it. More videos around here, and we'll see you next time.